Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. If you guys remember this build here, well, it is back and it's done. It's all painted. We're going to do final assembly for it. I told the owner that I would take care of final assembly just because I wanted it to be done correctly. We got it all finished over here. All candy painted. Super flaked out. So we got all that. Got all the parts. Sorry, cover you up. Bad part, I got to cut the fork down a little bit. This was not the fork we used, or the fork legs that we used for mock-ups, so I'm going to have to cut those down and hopefully not mess them up. Hard part is getting them into the frame and then cutting them and then putting them in, taking them back out without scratching them to death. But either way, he's got some more parts he's got to bring me, kickstand, seat bracket. But I'm going to get started on some of this stuff. We'll go put it on the jig so it makes it a little bit easier to play around with. And you guys come along. Let's go. Alright. So mainly I'm just sticking it in the jig so I'm not scratching it or putting it, you know, I can get to it easier from here. So I'm going to get the, I think I want to get the wheel on, see where it sits, and then start working my way forward. We'll go ahead and knock out the bottom bracket. I may even go ahead and do the tank plates while they're up here, and then just kind of work my way around. Like I said, he's got to bring me back the seat bracket so that I can even put the seat on. So we'll get all that done. We did the custom painted seat. All the tank plates are painted. Again, like I said, I got to do the forks. We're going to need two. Unfortunately, lose some of the detail in the fork because some of that's got to get cut off, but whatever. Let's go ahead and get the tank plates on because they look kind of cool and it'll help with the aesthetic, the look. Alright, I'm going to put some Loctite on these. Probably going to have to go through and chase them. Bad part about paint is if it gets into all these holes and crevices, especially all this flake, is it's going to be hard to get in there. I may not even need to use Loctite just because of all the stuff that gets inside of there. Give it a try. Start and see how it comes out now. But like even there, the hole's not the same size anymore. So just got to be careful. Yeah, I think we'll be good. Put that on there. Can't find my long Allen key. That would help a lot. Using all stainless steel on here. That one's not wanting to go in straight, doesn't feel like. May have to widen these holes back up because I always give myself a little bit of play to move things back and forth, but now that the holes are tighter, it may not want to do what I want it to do. There we go. Got it. Needed to loosen them up. Definitely looks cool. I actually wouldn't mind these being gold. That would have been kind of neat, but not in the budget, I don't think. Okay. Now we'll grab this one here. Looks really good. I like it. I'm digging it for sure. So much more complicated dealing with paint over powder. I feel like paint is so much more sensitive. I guess if that's even the right word for it. But you get what I mean. Just feel like you can scratch it so much easier. Yeah, that flake is in the holes there. There we go. Very super careful that I don't strip out these rib nuts back here because I'd have to drill them out and redo them if that happened. Wish I could find my longer Allen key. If I put stuff away, I'd probably find it. Let's grab another. There we go. So I've got these ones on. Get them all snug. Not going anywhere ever again. I normally, like I said, I normally use Loctite on this, but since the flake really got inside of the holes, they're not going anywhere. Like, those are on. So, yep, I'm going to get the other side done. I won't bore you with all that. I'll time lapse you on that one. Some of these are just not lining up anymore, so I'm gonna have to do a little surgery. Should be pretty close. I think I'm gonna go just a little bit bigger. Alright, so I just had to make the holes just a little bit bigger. A lot of the clear coat has made it to where everything doesn't want to line up in there, so I just made it just a smidge bigger, and then I just got to clean this one up, and then it should bolt right in. There we go. That's looking good. I think they came out pretty cool. So I'm going to get the bottom bracket on. I'm probably going to have to grind out some stuff here. Or get the lower stuff on. And then I think all I can do really, the cup holder, I can put the wheel on. Maybe the shifter. I may have an issue where there's so much flake here that I'm going to have to grind some of this back because I don't know if the shifter is going to fit. So, they're coming out pretty cool. I'm digging it. Good colors. Very, very low rider. Cool. I did want to show you guys this. This is super cool from Lawless. It's a like a gun style shifter. It's pretty neat. He's also got the matching steering neck. So super cool, man. And it comes with little bullets that go inside of there, which would have really set off the gold probably, but I think it's gonna work either way. Alright, we'll get the cup holder, which is a must. Some people don't think you need cup holders, but I'm telling you, go for a long ride, figure out where you're going to put your stuff. It also holds a speaker for you. I like putting them on bikes that I actually ride. There's that. Again, there's a lot of clear coat on here, so I'm hoping to be able to get this on there. There we go. Get it where I want it. Super cool. That looks really good. I'm super digging that. Really gives it that extra something. Cool. Alright, let's work on the bottom bracket. Alright, we're going to go ahead and slide the back wheel on. Should be pretty close. Again, a lot of paint down inside of here, so I'm going to have to get that out first. This is why paint can be a bit of a pain. Alright, I'm going to just use I don't know. I'm going to use something. I'll be right back. Alright, wheel is on. We're going to go ahead and get the seat on. He brought over the brackets for me. That'll go on there like so. So, that's really going to bring it together. I'm digging the wheel look. These are not the wheels he was going with. What happened was he ended up with a 32 hole hub that he had painted because he had the wheels matched painted to the bike. And it turns out that he didn't notice that he only had 32 holes. So he's looking for some hubs to match with that. So maybe we'll see what we can find. But right now, the chrome wheels actually look pretty good. I'm going to put the seat together and we'll get it put on. All right, seat's set. Put that on there like that. And then we'll maneuver it in. Hopefully I won't have any major... Yep, did it again. So, gonna have to back that clear coat off just a little bit. It's on there really thick. Alright, that took some work, but I had to shave the paint basically off. Alright, so I'm gonna move this up. And then we need an Allen key. One thing, that's like I was saying with when you're doing paint, if they're laying down a lot of clear coat like this one here, you're gonna have to almost shave areas back down to metal almost, just because this stuff's so tight fitting already. So I try to, when my powder coater's doing stuff, I try to let them know, hey, I'm gonna be, especially like grips or head tubes, things like that, let them know, hey, don't get powder coat down in there because I won't be able to get the parts on. So a good tip for you guys if you're ever sending your stuff out to someone to do work for you, like paint and powder, to let them know, hey, I'm going to be, when I put this together, these are the areas I need to stay clean. So, yeah, there we go. Not bad. Let's get the pins for the spring. Fingers crossed that those also fit in. I am somewhat new to this style of crank, so looks relatively simple how they work. I don't need to move it out. Probably need to do a little bit of research on this thing first, since I've never done one. Whatever. Figure it out. This needs to sit more flush, and it's not, so let's go put this in a press. Seems fine to me there. Check the other side. I think that'll do just fine. seems to be working. If not, take it back to work. But it seems to work. Nothing's rubbing, nothing's binding. As long as my chain line is in line with the back wheel, glue will be fine. It's a long crank. I didn't use any of these washers. I don't know if I needed to or not. I don't feel like I did. Everything looks to be where it needs to be. We will find out for sure. I don't think it's a super big deal. As long as I, like I said, as long as everything's running, everything looks to be fine. Even that bolt right there, that's clearance. So yeah, I think we'll be alright. So let's find the chain. Yeah, I think we'll be good. Alright, so running the chain, I got just we're a little too close to the wheel here. It's not bad, but I don't like it that close. So I think I'm going to add one little spacer over there. There we go. I think I'm going to add a spacer back here just to pull it out just a little bit, and I think that'll be enough to do what I need it to do. Other than that, should be good. Alright, so I added a couple spacers to the crank back here, but the chain line is relatively straight, but it's still just, you can see here, we're still hitting the wheel. So what I'll probably have to do, maybe do like an offset cog, which I have. Like I said, I need to do more research on these type of cranks because I don't normally use them, and maybe it can go out more. All I have left are these two, and they're not thick enough to do anything. So yeah, might be able to move it out more, see if that does anything. But I think I'm gonna call it a night, guys. So far, yep, it's coming out pretty cool. Looks good. Definitely candy lowrider status here, but yep, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Alright guys, so we're on to the next day, and some issues that I'm running into here. You have a few options, I guess, when you're using these style cranks, and like I said, I don't normally use these, but the owner has it, and that's what he's using. The shaft, no matter what I do, no matter how many spacers I put in there, it's not allowing me enough clearance at the chain. I mean, there's a little, but that's not enough. And it's kind of rubbing inside. It's giving me some weird rubbing. So you have some options. Lawless makes these, which are longer style ones that you can use, and then this kit came with some extra spacers. It came with this really wide spacer, and then it came with that spacer there. So I think I can use this on the outside and that one on the inside, and it'll push it out enough to let me use that. Also, another option is these cogs here. They're back sprockets. They're called cogs. So your standard bicycle comes like this here. This is an inverted one. So you can see it's got like a lip on it. This will also allow the chain. So you'd put that in, and that would actually pull your chain out. Sorry, there we go. Pulls your chain out so that you can move the chain away from the wheel. That does work sometimes, but what it can do is give you a chain offset so that your chain wouldn't be straight, because it would be coming down the line here and then going this way. So, which you do have a little bit of play here, that you can be a little bit offset. I mean, none of them, I haven't seen a custom bike yet that's completely straight. But, so that's another option. We're going to try this way first by replacing this and see how offset it does on the chain. Reason being is that sprocket, those offset sprockets are bigger. I already don't have a whole lot of chain room between there. So I don't want to use such a big sprocket that it gets me up too high and I start hitting frame here. So gonna give that a try, and then we're gonna go ahead and hook up the shifter, get that hooked up. This done. We're waiting on, he didn't have a chain, so we're waiting on a chain. This is mine. It's not long enough. Waiting on a chain. He needs pedals. Other than that, I think we're good. It's coming together. But let's work on the sprocket and kind of see what happens from there. There we go. That worked absolutely perfectly. I want to say that was 130 millimeter shaft. But I put the chain on now. I run that through. My chain line is still completely straight. And I've got about half an inch, quarter inch of room in between the wheel. So it won't rub. So it should be good to go there. Just had to dig into my parts stash, so that's alright. I'll charge them. Cool. So that's done. Like I said, we're still waiting on a chain. I'll go ahead and work on getting the shifter done now, because that can be set. This has to be cut. Pull this apart, clip it, cut it, figure out where it's going to go. I'll have to use some like wire ties under here, whatever. But cool. Problem averted. Didn't have to run the bigger sprocket, which is what I was worried about. Also, bigger sprocket means more torque, makes it harder to pedal. Smaller the sprockets makes it easier to pedal. You just don't get as much high speed when you're riding. Alright, so we're going to start getting on the shifter, but first, let's crack open one of these. Sweet nectar of morning goodness. Oh, that's good. Alright, so shifter. Got a full video on how to do these, so I'm not going to like walk you through all of it, but take this off because you don't need it, or shouldn't need it. So she's got to come off. Try to be careful. Don't pop the plastic part off because it's hard to get back on. So we're going to go from here. You're not going to cut this part. This is what you want to figure out where this is going to go first. Alright. I also knew this was probably going to be a thing, is that this is so thick right here. We're going to have to sand it back because this is a 7/8 tube. That's a 7/8 hole. So the clear coat is so thick, I could fight it, but it's just peeling it back anyway. So I'm going to give it a light sanding, see if I can get that knocked back some. It's a lot of flake in there. I don't want to go any further than there, so I'll make a marking for that and then sand that down and get that put on. Alright, so yeah, you saw me grind that down. It's so thick right there that the only way this is going to slide on there is if I got the paint off. Some of you are probably going to be like, well, what if it rusts? Well, these things aren't going to see rain or outside, so that's not that big of a deal. Normally with powder coat though, powder coat isn't as thick. You can sand it enough to get this over it. So there's just a lot of flake on here, so it's not gonna do what I need it to do. So I'll get that on here. Make sure it's in second gear, tighten her down. I'll start figuring out where I want this to be. I like to tuck it. Smaller wire ties work really good. You also need to watch, because remember you got a chain running through here. You don't want this so low that it's going to hit the chain. So I may run this up and over. We'll see. I may not need to. Get this where I want it first. Leave your wire ties kind of loose until you get them where you want them. Dust everywhere. Do it this way. I'm going to run it through the back tube here. You're still going to be able to see it, but I just don't want it getting too close to the chain. You can honestly get super fancy with this stuff if you're tucking. If you wanted to tuck these into the frame, you could. There's all kinds of things you can do where you don't need to use wire ties, or you won't even see the tubing or see the hoses if you ran them through the frames. I don't do all that, but you are welcome to. Then you don't need these. But I think it's okay, especially on this with the black and the red. What's one little black hose going to show, you know? Tuck that away. This will be tucked down in behind here. Go. So I'm gonna have to run all this out of here and take this apart. Now what I'll do is I'll mount this, take apart the bottom, run the cable as long as I need to, and then figure out where I want to mount it. I like to move this in as far as possible. I also want to make sure that I'm in second gear. That little center line is also in second gear. So I'm going to get started on that, get that put on, and then I can get all that clipped up. Alright, so this is all set up. I got it into second gear. All I need left is to clip this excess wire. I like to give it a little bit of a turn. Give it a good clip, make sure it's out of the way. Go ahead and toss this on if you can get under here. If you can't, you can go ahead and unbolt it because it's all tightened up now. Or tighten it more. There we go. Go ahead, throw that on. Slide her back where she was. Alright. Now I can put the shifter on the other side. Alright, again guys, we are using the Lawless 6-shooter shifter. And he does have the matching steering neck. So, super cool. You guys check out his site. Super nice guy. Makes some really cool products. And you can see what's really neat is these little bullets will go right down in there. So that's super cool. Put this on first. Let's find my Allen key. Of course, I don't have the right size. Do some fine-tuning adjustment on the shifter. It's showing second, but it's kind of past the second line, so this is where you can adjust stuff. Got it. Alright. Shifter's on. Check out these little bullet dudes. Super cool. You guys can see that. Alright, so I'm going to pull this back off because these do have to be either siliconed in or whatever you want to use. So I got some liquid metal over there, what do you want to call it, that I'll go ahead and put that in, but I just wanted to make sure that all this was working. So far, that's fine. This tells me that the back end is done for now. I need to wait for the chain to come in. Once I've got the chain on, then we're going to take it down, do the fork, get the front wheel on. Yes, we still got to cut the fork, which I'm not super excited about. Other than that, she's almost finished. So I'm going to cut it for the day, I guess, because I don't have anything else I can do until I get the chain. So hopefully I get the chain tomorrow, put that on tomorrow night, and then we can get it down. But I'm glad I got the crank taken care of. Shifter's usually kind of a pain, so I'm glad we got that out of the way. Yeah, alright, see you tomorrow. Alright guys, it's a new day. I hope we get to wrap this thing up. He brought me some chain. Don't know if it's enough. We'll find out. Let's get it on there. Let's get it done. Hey guys, and real quick too, I'm going to start on a new frame after this one is done. It'll go up for sale on my Instagram. So, right here. If you guys aren't already, go over there, follow me on Instagram. That's where my frames go up for sale. I'm only going to do so many, so when I put it up for sale, DM me. It's usually first come, first serve, but I might do like I have an idea of maybe doing some kind of a silent auction type thing where highest bidder wins. So I don't know yet. It's hard to do because I'm only doing so many frames, and since I'm not taking orders, as soon as I put one up, it's gone. So keep an eye after the build series. Next video will probably be building that frame, and then as soon as that frame is done, it's going up. So sometimes it goes up before the video gets seen, sometimes not, but keep an eye on the Instagram. I do post things there. I even post stuff that I'm doing now. So whatever you're seeing on the YouTube, you might have saw it on Instagram already. So stay there. Alright, let's get to work. Alright, so drop the bag off here. Pedals. Chain. Hopefully it's enough. I have no clue how much chain we're going to need. This was already attached. Check these pedals. I always like to check that clearance. Usually when I build a frame, I try to make sure that these pedals are above the frame, so when you're turning, you hit your pedal on the ground, you'll do it once, maybe twice. After that, it doesn't feel so good. Right, there we go. God, it's gonna be up high. He wanted to, I don't run really long cranks usually when I do mine. I like to run like a 145 millimeter, 155 arm. This has got to be longer than, so this is a 170. It's a little bit longer than that. Not too much, but a little bit. So, yeah, I don't know. They're a little long for me. Usually I don't want to run them this long because your leg's going to be up so much higher than it would have been. And you're running down so much lower. Yeah. I'm going to do my best to not have to use the half link on this. I don't like using them. I like to put the chain together. We'll see if it works. I honestly don't think this is long enough. He's going to need another one. Nope. That's what I thought. We are quite a bit away. So much for that. We need more chain. Alright, so I talked to the owner just to get it up and running. I'm just going to put in what little bit of chain I need. I do got a little bit of gold, probably put some silver in there just to get it up and running, and then he'll deal with it after that. We just really want to get it on the road, make sure everything functions right. He's not going to, like I said, these wheels are probably going to get replaced anyway, so no need to go through all that. And there she is, all on. Chain's a little tighter than I'd probably like, but it'll loosen up. But my main concern, just making sure everything works. Just make sure I'm not feeling anything weird in the crank. Plenty of room with the chain. Everything's straight. I'm liking it. Only had to use a little bit from here to here is all the chrome I needed to use, so he can replace that. But yeah, working good. I'm digging it. I like it. So time to get it on the ground and get the fork on, and that's gonna suck. Alright, all I got left to do now is we're gonna need to put this on, cut it where it needs to be cut. There's the lawless steering neck I was telling you guys about. It's pretty cool. So that'll lock in, tighten up, and the bars lock in using those there. So let's get the frame down and get back to work. I guess she's on the ground. That is not the right height. I just got it up so that I can work on the fork. I'm going to chop this up, put the fork on, figure out where it needs to go, and then get all that other stuff put together. And then I need to get the kickstand on also before I start messing with it too much, or I won't be able to get it on, because I'm already positive that there's too much paint on that too. I want to stop real quick. I want to show you guys. It's a pretty trick little setup. He's got, so you connect it here from, sorry, I'm not even showing you. You connect it here from the back. It squeezes, but your top goes down, the top hat goes inside. So it squeezes everything together on the inside. Then your bars go on, and then the top hat go on like that, and it's also got the 6-shooter to match. I wish those were gold. That would have been kind of cool. These two here are kind of just for looks, but you can order gold ones, I'm sure. But that's pretty cool. I mean, it's a trick little setup. I'm gonna get the forks on before I tighten any more down, because I need to know exactly where they are, but right now it's tight. So good to go. So on to the part I don't want to do. Okay, well, slight issue. The clear coat is so thick on the fork leg that it refuses to go into the hole. You can actually see, this would have been covered up, so not a big deal, but you can see there's a lip of how thick this is. So it's not happening. I don't know. I mean, I could hammer them and force them on, but there's no way. Maybe powder coat them black or something. I've got some black ones I can throw on, but they're not the same. Oh well, I'll let the owner know. He can figure out what he wants to do, because I told him to get it powder coated in the first place. I'm going to improvise to get it running. I did have these black legs, and it actually doesn't look too bad. Yes, I would much rather have those. They look awesome. They'd kick the wheel out a little bit further, which would be cool, but doesn't look terrible. I'm actually okay with it. Once I put a headlight on the front here, it's going to look even better. I'm going to get these bars on, get it together. Other than that, she'll be about done, because there isn't much else I can do, because they're not going on. Doesn't matter what we do. I could beat them on, but then it would kind of defeat the purpose. But like I said, doesn't really look half bad. I just got to get these bars up, and I'm going to put those on real quick, so let's do that. Alright, there she is. I'm going to get some quick B-roll. We're going to take her outside, get some proper pictures. Well, that's it, guys. I want to thank you guys again for watching my last video. Not that it's a huge deal and it really doesn't matter on YouTube, but it mattered to me. My last video was my fastest viewed video. I think before that, the video I had, I think the most views I got in one day was like 260. This one hit like 1,500, which is awesome. Not sure what it did. Still don't have a lot of view time. That's okay. I did like to bring something up though, because for me, making these videos, it's not easy. I know maybe some people know, some don't, that this is like having a totally, filming on its own is like having another job. So having you guys watch and subscribe and enjoy it is awesome, but it's hard. And when you do put out a video, because when I did put that last video out, right off the bat, it did worse than all of them. So I don't know what happened within that day where it took off, but I just wanted to stop. Like, I was done. I was like, I don't want to keep doing this if nobody cares. What's the point? A buddy of mine sent me a video. It's called One More Day. And I kind of try to do that. And basically what it's meaning is that no matter what you're going through or what you're doing, if you feel like quitting, just give it one more day. Give it one more day, see how you feel the next day, and go from there. Whether it be a YouTube channel or making something or yourself in general, give yourself one more day to see what happens, you know? And I'm glad I did, because I just wanted to turn the channel off, call it a day, stick to my Instagram where actually I get some traction, and not do it. But oddly enough, I waited that one more day, and the next day I got up and I had grown from, like, within a day it was 1,500 views in one day. Now it's at like 2,500, and that's really cool, and that's what's going to help me grow, is getting those amount of views per video. So thank you very much again. Like and subscribe on this one. If you guys don't like something, I got a couple people that thumb me down, like one or two. Why don't you say something? What is it that you're not liking? Put it down in the comments and let me know so I can fix it. Simple. But thanks again for watching. Follow me on Instagram. If you guys have questions, you can ask me there. I do post a lot more there, like I said. I hope you enjoyed this build. It didn't go exactly how we wanted to, but custom paint goes that way. I have never custom painted an entire bike before because of that reason. Some of those parts aren't going back together the way they used to. But you live and learn, and you figure it out. On to the next frame. Like I said, guys, pay attention to the Instagram, because that's where those frames are going to go when I am done with them. Thank you again. Remember, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.